I can all see your chat in the chat box. I can see stories of pain. Story na dito lang first time na ilabas. The stories that you can see in the chat box, everyone. Instead of you thinking na, hala, nadadamay naman ako sa ganito, ang negative, I want you to see it na, maybe start to listen more. Maybe start to feel more. Start to be compassionate instead of just constantly thinking about yourself, self. Maybe this time start to be connected with other people. And that is what belongingness is. I see one of you asking, what is belongingness? What is belongingness? Oh, Teacher Ian, explain me mindfulness, being in the now. But I want to know what belongingness is. And I say, belongingness is a space where you can be vulnerable and truthful. That is what belongingness is. Kaya nga most of the time, people do not have belongingness. They have friends, but they don't have belongingness. Why? Because they cannot be vulnerable with their friends. And they cannot say the truth with their friends. So how do we create belongingness, everyone? We create belongingness by learning how to listen. Just listening to other people makes them feel like they're heard. And there are many of us, multiple of us, that feels like we're not being heard. Hindi tayo napapakinggan. And sometimes we just want that eh. Di ba? Gusto lang nating mapakinggan. So start giving it to other people. Whatever you want, start giving it to other people. You want to be heard, then start listening to other people. That's how the universe works. Whatever you give, what? Whatever you give, I want to see that in the chat box. Whatever you give, good, you receive. I want everyone to listen. Because that's what creates belongingness. If we have mindfulness, being here in the now, and we have belongingness, what do we have? A perfect space for healing. Can I see that in the chat box? What do we have if we have mindfulness and belongingness? What do we have when we have mindfulness and belongingness? Sige nga. A perfect space for healing. I want to see that word. A perfect space for healing. There you go. That's beautiful. A space where you can be vulnerable and you can be truthful. I am here to solve the infidelity problem. I am here to be that voice, that betrayal, the pain of betrayal is not something that we consider as normal. Nowadays, with all the movies that we watch, with all the telenovela that we watch every morning that all revolves around cheating, no, that programs us. And that's scary. You see, everything that you watch in the telenovela are all about cheating. Lalaki cheat, babae cheat. So that's what we think is normal subconsciously. That's what we think is normal. You can let go move forward and find real love without fear. How does that words feels like? You see, for this next practice that we'll be doing, this is called the 9-step betrayal healing process. And the 9-step betrayal healing process is a proven way to start healing the wounds acquired from the betrayal. That means starting to forgive and let go, to release and surrender. If you're now ready for that practice, can I see a yes in the chat box? Okay, keep on messaging that word, no? Yes, yes. It's like a powerful word. Yes for ourselves. Okay, love seeing that. Okay, so the 9-step betrayal healing process starts with... You guys are ready? This is the first step. You guys are ready? Yeah? Okay, so the first step of betrayal healing process is to admit the pain and reflect on the impact. So that's very important. Sometimes people just wants to jump into the next relation. They don't admit the pain. You must admit that there's really a pain here and what happened because of that pain. So a good mental exercise is, who was I before the betrayal? Who was I? Who are you before the betrayal? Maybe you're that happier, joyful person, and then after the betrayal, you become this version of laging nakahiga, laging nagsi-cellphone, nagta-travel kung saan-saan. So first is what? Admit the pain and reflect on the impact. Okay? Can I see that in the chat box just so I know if you're following? What's the first step? Just so I know. No? We're here together. I want to see if you can understand what I'm saying here. Okay. Admit the pain and reflect on the impact. That's the first step. The second step is recognize that healing is possible. Oh my, this is really important. Recognize that healing is possible. Because for some of you, for some of us, people who have been betrayed in our life, we thought of ourselves na, wala nang pag-asa to. Wala na. Ganito na lang ako habang buhay. Wala, matanda na ako eh. Wala na. Ganito na lang siya, hindi na siya magbabago. Diba? O kaya naman, mahal ko kasi siya kaya ayaw kong umalis. You see? You see, ask yourself, is that healing? Diba? So the second step is to recognize that healing is possible. So can I see that? Recognize that healing is possible. Can I see that in the chat box and see, and if you're getting this? Okay, recognize that healing is possible. Okay? The third step is to choose to reclaim your power. The first step we have admit the pain and reflect on the impact. The second step we have recognize that healing is possible. And the third step is, this time you reclaim that power. You know what I'm saying. You know what that power is. Right? What's the third one? Choose to reclaim that power. Okay, I'm saying this before we go into our meditation. Okay, this is the meditation process. This is the step-by-step of it. Okay? The fourth is to release the shame and the self-blame. Oh my. If you're gonna look at it, in the first, second, third, it's all about trying to release. In the second part, it's all about trying to reconnect. So how can you reconnect? You first have to release something that is not helping you to connect with yourself. What are those? Shame, kahihiyan, and self-blame. Ako kasi may kasalanan. Siguro ako may kasalanan. No? For some of us, we think na baka tayo pa yung may kasalanan. Sa lahat ng ginawa sa atin, baka tayo pa yung may kasalanan. Okay, so what's the fourth step? Release the shame and self-blame. Can I see that in the chat box? The fifth step is to process and express your emotions. Notice we don't put the step 5 in the step 1. Why? Because you cannot just process and express your emotion right away. There must be some sequence pagkasunod-sunod. First, admit ka muna, reflect mo muna yung pain, and then the step 5, no? Mapupusit tayo sa process and express your emotions. If you're feeling mad, feel that madness. If you're feeling angry, feel that anger. If you're feeling sad, feel that sadness. Never, ever, ever suppress the emotions. Why? Because the emotions are what makes life colorful. Teacher Ian, what does that mean? Imagine life without emotions. Just imagine. For a second. Just imagine life for a second. Without any emotions. Walang sadness, wala ring happiness. Would life be entertaining? No. So let's stop numbing the emotion and let's feel the emotion once again. Okay. After we're done with the process and express your emotions, this is the 6th step, which is to rebuild trust with yourself. Not just with other people. Are you still trusting yourself? Because after the betrayal, even sometimes pati tayo, di na natin mapagkatiwalaan eh. Because why? Pinagkatiwalaan ko siya. Paano pa ako magtitiwala ulit? Wala na akong tiwala sa sarili ko. See, this is step-by-step process. 7. Redefine your boundaries and standards. Who relates to this? Type 1. Redefine your boundaries and standards. What does that mean? Ano ibig sabihin nun? You see, sometimes we love to please people. Please like me. Diba? And because of that, if we get invited, you will say yes and something will happen. You know what I'm saying. People who are surviving betrayal trauma, it's hard for them to set boundaries. And kung sana ganun lang kadali, no? Kung sana, set boundaries. Hindi siya ganun eh. It's hard to set boundaries if we're dealing with betrayal trauma. The 8th step is, most of the people will just stay stuck here. The 8th step is the most challenging step. And most people get stuck here. Because they will do all of this. Self-help thing, self-improvement, they go to therapy. But you know what other people will not do? Is to open your heart to love again without fear. Sino dito yung natamaan? Can I see a 1 right there? Now you can do all of this healing, but can you still open your heart to love again without fear? Can you do that? If you cannot do that, well, you're really not wanting to heal. Because healing is feeling love again. Every beautiful songs in this world, the main driver of that is love. Either from heartbreak or from the delight of love. The love is such a beautiful thing. And I'm just so sad that all of you are just craving for it. Starving from love. I'm doing this because I know your pain. And this could sound not normal for you, but I love you. And for you, you cannot say that because you cannot love other people anymore. You see, when you love other people, it's just like the most beautiful experience. I asked to my clients, I've worked with over 1,500 clients already, so I've asked my clients, what's the most happiest moment in your life? And guess what? all of them said that it's the moment that I love. Again, that first experience of love. Or kung yung first paglabas ng baby, alam mo yun? Or yung kasama ko yung pamilya ko, whenever they say the most happiest experience in their life, it's love. And then other people will say na, self-love muna. Self-love muna bago others. You see, this thinking na self-love muna bago others, this is like, for me, is not the right path to healing. Because you can love everyone. And for many, it's just like a new idea for them. What does that mean? And you're going to experience that in this meditation. So if you're still with me, can I see, what's step 9? Okay? Can I see that in the chat box? Ano yung step 9? Okay? Para naman maramdaman kung tinatanong nyo ako, guys. Okay, what's step 9? Alright. Thank you for riding with my, kalokohan. Anyway, step 9 is, this is where I am right now. And this is where you will be. The step 9 is to transform. Let me do that again. Because the step 9 is beautiful. Eh? The step 9 is to transform the pain into your purpose. That's the end goal. That's it. The step 9 is to transform your pain into purpose. The reason why I'm here is because I know what betrayal feels like. And ang hirap naman gawin ito kung hindi ko alam yung betrayal, di ba? Like, I know how it feels. But I did not let that betrayal define me, but instead creates me. Betrayal is the most evil thing that a person could ever do. It's way evil than a murder. Because it's not just it's a random person who hurt you. It's the most loved person pa. The first scene in the Bible is when Eve betrayed God by eating that fruit that opens consciousness. That's the first ever scene. Di ba? The first pa lang sinasabi, don't betray. Because this is what will happen. Di ba? Nasa kanila yung Garden of Eden eh. That's like prosperity and abundance already. God has only one thing, one favor. Never touch those fruits. But what Eve done is, di ba? Never betray other people. Even if you've been betrayed by others. Never. It's the most painful thing you can ever do to a person. And healing from betrayal will not just through time. It needs a right process. And that is learning mindfulness and belongingness together. When you're ready, find yourself a comfortable space, comfortable position, making sure that the spine is straight, elongated, the chest is forward, both feet touching the floor, both hands on top of your knees, flipping them over, palms open, lifting your chest up, shoulders back, tucking your chin to your chest, and close your eyes. Take a long breath in as we open the portal within. Inhale. And then exhale, relax. Releasing any tension, being here in the now. Inhale, connecting with the breath. Exhale, releasing any thoughts, anything that is no longer serving us, and just being here in the now. Last inhalation, inhale. And then silently say to yourself, I am here, as you exhale. I am here. I am here in the now, in the present moment, sa pangkasalukuyan, sa ngayon. Ramdam ko ang talampakan, ramdam ko ang paghinga, rinig ko ang bawat detalye. Andito ako sa ngayon. If your mind wanders to the past or sa hinaharap, remember to always bring your back in the present moment. Kapag naglikot yung isip, sabihin sa sarili, hindi, dito muna ako, sa pangkasalukuyan. Maglilikot ulit, hindi, dito muna ako, sa pangkasalukuyan. Maglilikot ulit, hindi, dito muna ako, sa pangkasalukuyan. That's how meditation practice works. Every time the mind gets uncontrollable, you pull it back and tell to the mind to be here. Dito ka muna. Dito ka muna sa paghinga. As we enter the 9-step betrayal healing process, I want you to be guided with my voice. And from my voice, notice every smallest details that you can hear right now. It could be the sound of the fan, the music coming out from the speaker. Noticing any details that you can hear right now. Naririnig mo pa rin ba ang mga maliliit na detalye? O tuluyan na ng ligaw ang isip? Muli, bumalik sa pangkasalukuyan sa ngayon. Keeping your eyes closed throughout the entire betrayal healing process is necessary. As we start to enter the first step, admit the pain and reflect on the impact. Start giving yourself slower exhalation as you start to see the impact of the betrayal. What just happened? Who you were before the betrayal and who you are now. Can you see the difference? And face this with courage that I am now finally facing what I am running myself from. Start connecting with the feeling of pain without any suppression. Surrendering this experience. And as we step onto the second level, I want you to see yourself as if you're climbing upstairs, starting with your right foot and to your left foot. As you enter the second step, recognize that healing is possible. Start to imagine a beautiful scenery of the mountain ahead of you. Start to see it in your mind's eye. The beautiful scenery of a mountain are so vivid in your mind's eye right now, as if they're actually there. You can even hear the way they dance. You can even feel the wind, see the colors. And as you see this scenery of a mountain, you start to feel that healing is possible. And you silently tell yourself, healing is possible. Healing is possible. Healing is possible. constantly repeat it over and over, healing is possible. Healing is possible. And feel every single words that you're saying right now. Connect with your heart and feel the weight of the words. Healing is possible. And as you see this mountain, you have this feeling that you wanted to reach the top of the mountain. So, all of a sudden, a horse appears right by your side, as if the universe is trying to help you reach that mountain. And you ride that horse, and you were going straight on top of that mountain with power, with courage, and you're telling yourself, healing is possible. I am ready. As you go towards the top of the mountain, you are constantly repeating it to yourself. And you've entered the step 3. Choose to reclaim your power. This is how your power feels like. This is who you are. For some women, reclaiming their power means becoming more feminine. Because as we see the numbers of strong, independent women grow, we see that there are more southern women. Because women desires that feeling as if they're being taken care of. That feeling of being loved, not to be a strong, independent woman. Most of women do not really want to be a strong, independent woman. The situation just made them that way. So for some, reclaiming their power, that could be becoming more feminine or becoming more masculine. How does it for you to reclaim your power? And the moment you reach this top of the mountain, you see another peak of a mountain. So you go into a journey again to hike that next peak. However, the horse can no longer be with you. So you have to walk by yourself. However, the only problem is you needed to carry all the stones in your backpack. And you don't want to let go of these old stones because these stones are valuable to you. As you hike the mountain, you started to get fatigued. And you realize the step 4, which is to release the shame and self-blame. You may see that in your mind right now. Releasing the shame and the self-blame. Hindi ikaw kung ano yung nangyari sa'yo. You can be the most vulnerable here, and we will understand. As you continue to hike this mountain, you started to feel sad. You started to feel alone. But you still continue to hike this mountain. And as you feel emotions even more, you start to arrive on to step 5, which is to process and express your emotions. And you're hiking, crying. You're hiking, laughing. You're not controlling any emotions. You're not suppressing any emotions. We're trying to unshame the emotions. You see, the only way a baby can communicate towards us is crying. That means the first language that we ever learned was our ability to cry. And start to express and process your emotions again. There's nothing wrong with that. As you hike the mountain, crying, laughing, you've brought yourself into this 2 paths. And you don't know where to go. There's no instructions at all. There's no single clue on where to go. And we now arrive to your step 6. Rebuilding trust with yourself. You do not need any instructions. You know what to do. Connecting with yourself even more. You know where to go. And you maybe go left or right, wherever you wanted to feel to go. And you started to continue your journey. However, there's one problem. Your foods are running out of supplies. But your father taught you to be liked by every animal by giving them foods. So you give every animals that you encounter your foods. And you started to realize that I cannot sustain this for any longer. And now we arrive onto your step 7. Redefine your boundaries and standards. Feel that power of saying no. And say it without any guilt. Connect with the word no once again. Say it without any guilt is how you set up your boundaries and standards. Now, as you set up your boundaries, you become too guarded that you are no longer open to climbing this mountain anymore. Because you're just too guarded, as if as if animals will constantly be there. And on to the step 8, you learn to loosen it up and to find the balance between setting boundaries and opening your heart to love again without fear. Opening yourself up even more and noticing how this love feels like for you. Love is the essence of life. But how do we feel love? Love that's not only one-dimensional, meaning just me, loving me muna, but instead love that makes you feel as if you're connected with every other being. Connected with the world. Connected with your breath. From here, I want you to focus every attention that you got from your mind to your heart. As if you're watching the heart beats. Listen carefully, and you can hear your heart throbbing. and start to let go any armor, any shield, any plates with this heart of yours. Allow it to throb even more to the point that you're just expressing love. Whenever people see you, they think of love. Don't you want to be that person? After all of this, we arrive onto the step 9. You finally reach the summit. You're there, and you realize that there is no destination. There's just journey. You realize that all of that for this, for the peak of mountain, and you started to come down back to the town. And as you go down, you have this wisdom that you've acquired in that journey, that there's no destination. It's the journey that matters. That means it's the present moment that matters. It's the now, it's the here that matters the most. And you started to share this with other people. And they start to climb that mountain with that in mind, to enjoy the process and not to reach the destination. Your step 9 is to transform your pain into your purpose. I'll give you a few moments of silence to be with yourself and not distracted by others. Keeping your eyes closed throughout the 9-step betrayal healing process is necessary. This time, share silence together. Recognize that you are not just doing this by yourself. There are over 200 people doing this with you right now at this moment. Start to feel that connection. Regardless of the distance of our location, we feel connected in this moment, in this present moment. Now that you're here, when I say here, you know what I mean. Once you're ready, at the count of 5, prepare to come out of your meditation practice. 5, preparing to come out. 4, recognizing how you feel. 3, being in the present moment more. 2, and 1. You may now open your eyes. If you're okay, I want to see your presence in the chat box. Can I see a yes in the chat box right now? I'm sorry, team. Guys, I cannot see the chat box here. Okay. Okay, I see you, Ivy, Rona, Wilbert, Christine Suzuki. I see Sheila, Ann, Beverly Lobusta, Eliza, Rose, Dos, Hyacinth. That's a beautiful name. Joanne, Carla, Anna. Okay. This time, how did you feel after the betrayal healing process? What did you learn from your inner world? Because the word education came from the Latin word educere, which truly means to draw out something from you. So, true education does not mean me teaching you, it means you teaching yourself. So, if you think this is educating you, my question is, are you learning from yourself? So if you learn anything from yourself, I want you to consider this chat box right now as if it's your journal. Perhaps your personal journal. Now, regardless of how many people will think of it, will see this, you're confident. Because this story that you're telling is not you anymore. You're not ashamed of it anymore. For some of my students, they come to me because they're the one who betrayed someone and the guilt is just chasing them. And just imagine how hard it is to admit that. But the first step of healing is to recognize the pain. And you cannot recognize the pain without being vulnerable. So what did you realize? What did you learn from yourself? Love, forgive, and forget. Feeling calm. Okay. Now, we're now done with the meditation. Oh, but some of you are still sending some beautiful message. Healing is possible. Saying no is okay. I have to move forward. Those are beautiful. You see, right now, you're the one giving this advice to yourself. Right? It's not even me. I don't even give advice. My goal is just to give you to the perfect space for healing. After the meditation, I cried. I feel the pain from the start, then suddenly feel free and slightly sleepy, but feel relaxed and peace. That's beautiful. Slowly moving on, learning to say no. Okay. 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 But we're not yet done. Everyone. We just finished exploring our inner world. This time, after this break, you will start to know what is the hidden danger of betrayal trauma and how to not let betrayal control our future. If you want that, say yes in the chat box before we have our break. Say yes in the chat box. I cried. Okay, people are crying. That's very beautiful. That's unshaming. That's unshaming any emotions, no? Okay, I see yes, 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 yes. So, if you guys are ready to know what is the hidden danger of betrayal trauma and how to break free from it for good so you can start feeling at peace, you can start feeling happy at mababalik natin yung dating ikaw. At hindi lang yung dating ikaw. Baka yung mas better na ikaw. Yung empowered na ikaw. If that's what you want, can you say one in the chat box? May iba naman. I want to see one. Okay. Okay. In the next 10 minutes, I'll see you again, and this will be a beautiful journey together. Stay in tune. I'll see you again.